What's going on? Welcome back to yet another normal baseball podcast. Free agency frenzy. It's over, and we are about 2 weeks away from the regular season. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to yet another normal baseball podcast. I just botched the intro 2 times in a row. It's because we haven't done this in a week. I am Bob Melvin, 3-time manager of the year, normal dog. That's Lewis, and yeah. What do we got? We got a lot of stuff since we last did this about 5 or 6 days. It'll be 7 days tomorrow. And oh boy, has a lot happened. We're gonna just try to go in order as best we can. Not much else to say.
Before we
could
start into anything,
we could start off with the
make sure you do your homework.
The homework question. So last week it was a start bench cut. It was Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado, and who was the third one? Jose Ramirez. So what you got?
So this is hard because obviously all three I think they are my top 3 personally for the hot corner. But I went with my heart more than what numbers and everything else would say. And I took Manny Machado starting, Jose Ramirez on the bench, and it was hard, but I have to cut Nolan Arenado. What did you go with?
I cut Arenado, unfortunately. I started Jose Ramirez, and then I cut Manny. I benched Manny.
You just cut 2 of them.
I'm cutting them all. I'm playing third. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
it's so hard to say that we both cut
Nolan Arenado.
But, out of those 3 at the current moment, I would take...
I don't know. Jose Ramirez has, MVP voting in, the last 5 seasons. Manny Machado is great defensively and offensively every year. So is Nolan, but just...
They don't call it the Slam Diego Padres for nothing.
At that point, it was just preference.
Yeah. All 3 great. All 3 could start. All 3 could be on the bench, and all 3 could get cut.
Yeah. I think that was a pretty easy one. It's hard to... we had somewhat of the same stuff, so...
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, for next week...
Make sure you do your homework.
The
homework,
now,
of course, is going to be... who has the nastiest pitch in all of baseball?
Oh, that's a good question.
So, any pitch, for example, Jacob deGrom's fastball, or Blake Snell's, or Yu Darvish's slider.
Oh, we've seen. I would like to think that everybody's seen that video of him practicing with that disgusting slider. That thing looked untouchable.
Yeah, no, he's got something special with that pitch. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, all right. Now let's get into what people actually want to hear.
Let's we're into it. We're jumped in.
We're diving right in, and we're gonna try to go in order as best as we can. And we'll start off with, I believe this is the first one since last time I recorded, Anthony Rizzo back to the Yankees.
Wow.
So obviously that's big. They re-signed him, 2-year, $32 million deal. I wasn't really surprised. It was the most realistic option in all reality. I didn't think Freeman was really an option because they were rumored, but they never really were actually rumored. So I don't really think
that's fair.
it's surprising.
I'm very happy that we got number 48 back. Of course, I think all 30 teams in the lead would have loved to have Freddie Freeman. Obviously, only one team got lucky enough to get him, which we'll get to later. But hey, the end of the year came around. Anthony Rizzo was doing his thing. Don't forget, Yankee fans, that he was one of the only people to produce a run in the wild card game. He had an absolute moonshot into right field during that wild card game. Great player. Great player. Happy to see him back in pinstripes, without a doubt.
Yeah, last year he played 141 games, so didn't really get injured. I mean, 22 homers, 23 doubles, just under 800 OPS.
The mic back a little bit.
What?
Like away from you. You're very bold. All right, try that. Okay, we're never gonna know. All right, yeah. So
a little under an 800 OPS. I don't know. I think he's just gonna have a regular season. I think the Yankees know what they're getting with him.
Yes, definitely. He's more of a certainty than what they did trade away in Luke Voit. Sadly, had to see him go over to the Padres. But
yeah.
I mean, if you told me a few years ago that Anthony Rizzo would be a New York Yankee every day, I would be excited, and I'm still excited now.
I wouldn't be mad about it. And now that you mention it, we might as well just do it now. Luke Voit, the Yankees did trade him to the Padres in exchange for
Justin Lange, I think is how you say it.
Justin Lang.
Lang, yes.
It was the Padres, like one of their top right-handed pitching prospects, which, I mean, they just wanted to get Voit out of there, and I think teams knew that they wanted to get rid of him, so, like, he didn't have much value in all reality, because, like, what the Yankees weren't going to keep him. They knew that the Yankees were going to get rid of him no matter what. It wasn't like they were shopping him. They were like, we need to get rid of him because he's just taking up space.
We can get into that a little bit. I mean, I kind of wish that they did keep him, because then that would mean that Stanton would play more of the outfield, and we would have Luke would have just been a DH. But
at the same time, it takes up too much roster space because they got Rizzo, and then DJ can play first still too. And with DJ playing first, and then Glaber going back to second, it just makes the most sense to get rid of.
Yes, without a doubt.
And we knew it was coming. Everyone knew it was coming. I think even he
knew. Man out.
And he even said he was like relieved. I think he was sick of even last year. Rizzo took the spotlight from him.
Yes, without a doubt. But good, Luke, go fucking kick ass. I mean,
I hope he does good in Slam Diego. I mean, the name certainly fits him.
Yeah, it fits him well. I mean,
and
we
you know what that
preview.
means. That jersey behind you. He may not be their everyday first baseman anymore.
I commented on the Padres post about Luke Voit, saying what's going to happen to 2015 World Series champion and 2016 All-Star Game MVP Eric Hosmer. Waiting on my answer.
Yeah. No. So we'll see. I think Luke is going to wind up DHing a lot. So
yeah, I can imagine.
Hosmer's still going to be in there.
Thank
if
God.
I had to guess. Yeah. And then So the Padres now, their lineup's pretty good.
With Voit, Padres look good.
If Voit can, I mean, he's still limping, but he's been limping since he was born, so.
Feels like it.
No, it's definitely been like that.
Yeah.
So it depends on which Luke Voit they get. Is how they'll be going on this year with him.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe even play short since Tatis is out for the first few weeks of the season.
All right, let's move on. Let's not talk about the. I don't want to imagine that. Let's move over. Stay in the AL East. Matt Chapman to the Blue Jays. Who the hell? That came. I mean, like it might have been rumored a couple times, but that came out of nowhere. Seems like.
Not feel like it was even real. Seeing the trade, honestly.
No, it didn't make sense. The A's got back a bunch of prospects, few prospects. The Jays are pushing for the AL East. They have arguably the best lineup in the AL East.
They might have the best lineup in the entire American League, honestly. Like, it feels like their only weak spot is their catcher, which I believe is Alejandro Kirk.
Or Danny Jansen. It's not even... I wouldn't say it's bad.
But that's not even, like, bad. It's just, like, some guy who couldn't be an all-star starter. You know? Like
They literally have all-star caliber players at every position. And their starting rotation is insane. And their bullpen may need some work, but like with that lineup they might be fine.
With that lineup and the starting pitching, I mean, especially come playoff time, hoping that the Blue Jays make it, of course. That is one dangerous team to face in an elimination game.
It is.
Then what you have Gausman, and then they can go to any one of their four guys who are in the rotation just to pitch and shut you out.
It's crazy. It's crazy how they built that. It feels like so sneakily they built that team. Like we knew last year, we saw it that they were doing good. Obviously, a lot better than maybe some people thought they were even going to do. They almost made the playoffs. They just barely missed.
And they came out this offseason. I mean, after that CBA was signed,
Yeah.
I bet you there was probably like an internal discussion like, hey, let's go win this thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let's hope that they do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just want them to be as entertaining as possible, and I know they're going to be, so I don't even have to worry about that. They're going to be a very entertaining team this year.
Yes, of course.
And Vladdy had that quote that was like, last season was the trailer, this season's the actual movie. That's like one of the most badass quotes.
Badass, terrifying, honestly.
I would be scared. I would be scared.
Yeah, as fans of the AL East, I mean, it's not easy.
No, not easy at all.
Easy.
No, it's going to be a fun season. I feel like in every division it's going to be a fun season.
I hope so.
And then defensively, Chapman's good. Offensively, he had a down year. He batted .210 with just over 700 OPS, 27 homers, 72 RBIs, 202 strikeouts, which is a lot. But yet again, a 1.3 D WAR. So,
yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if Chapman's, quote, down year. Then again, still 210 points better on his average than you could do in the MLB. But, his down year is still fine. I think that's what the Blue Jays need. Some guy who can do it a little bit. They don't need Jose Ramirez, which he was rumored to be traded to the Blue Jays first before Chapman.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been terrifying. But Chapman brings the defense at the hot corner over at third. And, he has a little bit more experience in the playoffs. He can really talk to the guys, especially if the Blue Jays fall into the wild card or if they win the division. That he's going to be that veteran leader besides, obviously, George Springer in that clubhouse, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I agree. And just on what you said before, I actually think it's 790 points lower than I can do. So the 210 batting average doesn't impress me that much. I'd be batting 1,000.
Okay.
But, no, I agree. And it's certainly that veteran presence, like you were talking about. That infield is terrifying. Just the infield. The outfield is also terrifying. But if you look at that infield, you got Vladdy, Biggio, Bichette, and now Chapman.
Yeah, I mean...
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if they also added Jose Ramirez on top of that?
I mean, Jose Ramirez would probably play third, and they would put Chapman at short, shift everybody over one cabin.
I don't think so. No, he would play second, and they would trade
Jose
Biggio.
Ramirez?
Yeah, they would trade Biggio.
Okay.
That's what would happen. They're not moving.
I could see it work any which way, honestly.
I guess you're right. Yeah, no. Anyone in that infield playing any of those positions would be good.
It would work. Unless, I mean... I would love to see Vlad play short.
I was going to say, as long as Vladdy stays at first. By the way, Vladdy he hit a bomb in spring training the other day.
Yeah, I think that ball's still flying.
It was his first game.
That ball and Jorge Solaire's ball are going to collide in the upper atmosphere.
Yeah. No, I think they already have. Oh, my God. But, yeah, Matt Chapman. And then it's been a hell of a couple of weeks for this free agency. There's just so much stuff to talk about. We could talk. Next we'll do Seiya Suzuki. I mean, Japanese star to the Cubs. To the Cubs, and I was completely wrong.
Yeah, I thought I took him in our bracket prediction. Took him down to the Phillies.
Well, that whole draft did not go as planned for any of us.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I thought he was going to go to a team on either of the coasts. I didn't know which one, but I was completely wrong. He's in the NL Central now. Like,
mind-boggling.
Oh,
mind-boggling stuff.
The deal is 5 years, $85 million.
Yeah, a lot of money.
I mean, it could be good because that division, besides the Brewers, doesn't really have
Cardinals.
Brewers and some of the Cardinals, they don't have the greatest pitching. So it could be good for him when he's transitioning. He's 27, so by the end of the contract, he'll be, 32?
Yeah, still get another contract.
Yeah, no, it's
without a doubt.
I think it's a good place to start, especially that division. Just in case you don't know.
The Cubs are building something interesting.
I was gonna say, it's weird. Like their lineup, They got Wilson Contreras, Frank Schwindel. I know you love Frank Schwindel. Nick Madrigal, David Bodie, Patrick Wisdom, Andrelton Simmons, unfortunately. And then they have Seiya, Ian Happ, Clint Frazier, Jonathan Villar. Like, they have some solid players. Their pitching does need help, but I see the foundation of what they want to do, you know?
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like, yes, they have a good foundation, but then, I mean, technically, their number one starter right now, Marcus Stroman, is on such a short-term deal. You know?
3, 4 years. Wasn't it 4 years? 3 years?
3. It's 3 years. And with Suzuki signing for 5, I'm shocked that they didn't try to give him the same contract as, I'm shocked that they didn't try to line them up together. Because the Cubs, like you said, can build something amazing. They really can. They have a great foundation. They have what could turn into a superstar in Mr. Suzuki. They have a great number one option in Marcus Stroman. They have Yankees legend Clint Frazier. So I don't see why the sky's the limit for them.
They really missed out on Correa, though, because that, instead of Andrelton Simmons for 1 year, which, by the way, Andrelton Simmons, Jonathan Villar also signed with them for 1 year. But if they had Correa in that lineup instead of Andrelton Simmons, I'd think a lot higher of this lineup. Because that Andrelton Simmons just kind of
a wild card.
It's like a sore thumb. With Correa, I think they would. I don't think they will without.
No, with Correa, I would have told you, they might be a wild card team minimum.
Yeah, and who knows? They could do it this year. Like I'd be shocked, but if something happens, if they make trades or something, could happen.
Maybe they're deadline guys. Maybe they go out and get a free agent, not a free agent, a player that just signed that might be a little bit familiar with Wrigley Field that we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah, and I mean, Seiya is. I think he's going to fit right in. I mean, there's been a lot of big, high-touted players coming from Japan who haven't panned out, and obviously Shohei panned out so far, at least, and he was the last big Japanese prospect.
Oh, he more than just panned out. I mean, he won an MVP.
I know, and Suzuki had better numbers than him in the NBP, which is the Japan Baseball League. He hit 315, 182 homers, 562 RBIs, 82 stolen bases, and almost 1,000 OPS in 9 years. He maintained those numbers.
Wow.
Why he didn't come over sooner, I do not know.
Neither do I. I mean, good for him. And if anybody's unaware, he is wearing number 27 on the Chicago Cubs, which is a very funny story. I mean, he's donning it to... sort of just, he wants to be like Mike Trout. I think his exact words were, Mike Trout, I love you.
Yeah, when he was
during his press conference, when he was asked about the number 27. So it's nice to see that he's going to fit right in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm excited to see what kind of year he has. And especially the start of the season, I want to see his first at-bat, how he sees the pitches and all that. Because obviously the pitching here is a lot different than the pitching in Japan.
Yeah, and I mean, it'll be interesting because if he can pick it up quick or if it doesn't look different to him as much as it has to other players who have come out of the Japanese Baseball League, then he's a real threat. I mean, the guy can do it, and he showed that in Japan. And if he can bring that over, if he can even bring over, 80% of that to the MLB, he could go down as one of the greatest Japanese players in baseball, honestly.
Well, with those numbers and over that long of a span of time, yeah, of course he can.
Yeah, it'll be a fun season for you guys, Cubs fans. Lock in. Go cheer, go fly the W.
I'm not even a Cubs fan, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm looking forward to it. And then, so that's a big bat for them. And then speaking of big bats, the team in the NL East, who you thought Seiya was going to, did add 2 big bats. Indeed, 2 very big bats. And I'm talking about
gigantic bat.
I'm talking about the Philadelphia Phillies adding Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. Kyle Schwarber 4 years, $96 million, and Castellanos 5 years, $100 million. Schwarber making more a year than Castellanos was interesting to me, but anyway, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
their lineup,
they got a bargain.
their lineup is very much threatening in the NL East now, and they have good
Well,
pitching.
yeah.
They got better in their bullpen. That division is going to be insane.
The question is for them, what does their defense setup look like? I think they're gonna have to move that guy who plays right field sometimes. I think they have to move him over to center. Basically, they gotta just
I don't
shove
think so. I think
Kyle and Castellanos over in the corners.
I think Schwarber's going to be more of a DH. I don't think he's going to
They're
really.
You think they're gonna DH him? That's fair. I could see it. I just think with the amount of money that they paid for him, that I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted him to play the field.
Well, I'm not saying he's never going to play the field, but I do think that he'll probably primarily play the
DH role. Yeah,
DH.
I could see it.
They're going to have. They
Excuse
still
me.
have options. They have a double Herrera, Moniak. They have options for center field if they really want to, but I could see Harper making the switch to center.
Oh yeah, that's his name, Bryce Harper. Yes, I could see it. I could. I mean, he has the speed for it. He has the agility, and he definitely has the arm for it. But we'll see if they want to even keep him on the roster. What happens there.
For people who don't know, Lewis hates Bryce Harper for no reason whatsoever.
I never said that I hate the guy. Never said that I hate the guy.
So that's just he's not being serious when he says that. I mean, Harper was DHing today. I was trying to check if maybe he was playing center today, because I was watching the game. I just wasn't really paying attention to where Harper was. Let's see. Yesterday he didn't play. Day before that he probably didn't play also.
Excuse me.
No. So, yeah, I don't know. He DH'd the other day. So he hasn't been playing the field, but I guess we'll see. I could definitely see him moving to center now that you say it, and Schwarber.
Because, I mean, if they want to use the most potential in their lineup, I mean, I believe that they're still under the cap pretty comfortably.
No, they're over.
They're over?
They went over with Castellanos. It was their first time going over in a very long time.
I'm being stupid. I'm sorry. But hey, if you told me at the deadline that the Phillies were going to trade for just a straight bat guy, like one guy I could see getting moved depending on what happens is JD Martinez, depending on what happens obviously this season.
I can't see that because
at the deadline I could almost see it. Like, I'm not guaranteeing it, nor am I thinking that it'll happen. But if it were to happen, I could see the Phillies going over there and scooping him up.
I mean, they already got two guys with over 900 OPSs. How often does that happen?
Not too often.
And they added them within days apart.
Yeah, the Phillies. I mean,
over 900 OPS and both over 140 WRC plus.
That's not easy to do.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you mentioned JD Martinez being moved. The only reason I'm gonna immediately shut that down is the Red Sox made a big signing yesterday.
Did they now?
Trevor Story, the free agent. No one saw it coming. I don't think I saw this coming. I mean, I saw rumors. Trevor and his team kept it very quiet on who the front runners were and everything. 6 years, $140 million to the Boston Red Sox. The Rockies offered him more money than that, and he said no because he wanted to win.
I mean, he just wanted to get out. Yeah, he wanted to win. Interesting. I mean, like you said, no one really knew. I thought that both the Red Sox and I think the other team that he was rumored to be talking with was the Giants that I saw predominantly. I thought that they were just talking pieces for the Yankees, but then again, I'm a Yankees fan. I thought that the Yankees would try to get Trevor Story.
No.
So
after they got IKF, there was no way. Because he was rumored to them. He was rumored to them since before lockout. He was their guy, and I mean they got him. But anyway, I saw Houston too because Correa left, which we'll also get to that.
To Houston, which would have been a crazy turn of events down there in H-Town.
No, but I'm not too fond of the Red Sox because I'm a Yankee fan. But like I will be unbiased. I fully respect Trevor Story for taking less money to go for a winning team. Because there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys out there who just would have taken more money from the Rockies and just had more money.
There. Yeah.
and just sat there and rotted. Although the Rockies did make a signing, but
yes, I mean, no matter what you think about any team, you have to respect the guys that do this. Taking the pay cut a little bit to guarantee that you're going to be competing for something come the end of the season, rather than just sitting there getting empty stats and just being bums sitting on your couch watching all these other teams compete. But congratulations to Trevor Story. Although I'm not the biggest Red Sox fan, I'll root for him if he's not playing the Yankees. How's that?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And not only that, not only is he taking a pay cut, but he's also taking a position change. He'll be playing second because there's no way they're moving Bogarts over. I mean, they already have an all-star shortstop, and now they just got another one who's going to play second.
So I've been biting my tongue on this for a few days now from us just hanging out and stuff. I think that the Red Sox are not going to re-sign Xander Bogaerts. I think that this is, the replacement coming in a little bit early. I really do. Which is sad to say, because Bogaerts really he strikes me as a Red Sox guy. I just don't think that they're going to re-sign him.
Well, crazy as it sounds. Like you said, I think it depends on how they do this season. Because if somehow that team does really, really bad, and they don't plan on re-signing Xander, they might just trade him. But if they're doing really good and that team works out and Trevor Story is comfortable at second, I can see them re-signing. I think that's kind of depends on how the season's going.
Yeah, you make a point there. I mean, that was just my initial thought was they might not re-sign Xander. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Type of deal,
Mm-hmm.
But still, again, congratulations to Trevor Story.
Yeah, hopefully he can have a better year than last year. He didn't have a terrible year last year, but it was a bit of a down year for him.
In Coors Field.
In Coors Field, only 24 homers. But a 4.2 WAR. So he didn't do terrible, but hopefully he can ramp it up this year for the Red Sox fans out there.
Yeah, unless they're playing the Yankees, then maybe tone it down a little bit, please.
Yeah, and then speaking of the Red Sox, they're pitching on their pitching front. Chris Sale is actually going to miss opening day, so he will not be starting in Yankee Stadium with us there. I'm not complaining.
Thank God. I mean,
I'm sorry to hear it, but I can't complain because we are going opening day. I would like to see a Yankee win. Yeah, although we don't even know who's going to be playing for the Yankees. But he's been ruled out for at least 2 weeks, fractured rib. And here's the funny part.
He's just scared to pitch in the Bronx. That's all that it is. I can't blame him.
Well, here's the funny part. He suffered a fractured rib during training in lockout. So he had no access to trainers, no access to team doctors. And could that be the reason? Yeah, probably.
It's a real shame. It really is.
It's the lockout. It's the lockout effect.
Chris Sale, get better. I mean, I'm really pulling for Chris Sale to come back and be Chris Sale again. Thank God he's not going to start with my Yankees as the first victim, but still rooting for him.
Yeah. So I mean, Evaldi's probably going to start opening day. He did last year too. With Sale injured, so I don't see why they wouldn't. He's their 2 guy.
Yeah, it'll be a good sense for the Red Sox because I mean, if they feel as if they need that solid number 1 guy in the first couple of weeks and they're noticing that, they know that Chris Sale's on the back burner. I mean, they're not going to rush him back. He's a top 5 pitcher in the league if he's fully healthy, at least in my opinion. I mean, I'm hoping that he just can come back and be healthy because all of this has been way too long. And especially the people up there in Beantown, they're probably really missing Chris Sale.
Yeah. Yeah, they saw a little bit of him last year, and now this year they thought they were going to get a full season. And obviously they're not going to get a full season. He might miss a couple starts. Hopefully only 1 or 2 starts.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
And I mean, we were just talking about Chris Bryant. I mean, not Chris Bryant. We were just talking about Trevor Story, which brings me to my next point. His old team, the Rockies, Chris Bryant, he's in Colorado. Chris Bryant to the Rockies on a 7-year, $182 million deal.
A lot of money.
I mean, we were just talking about how Story declined because he didn't need the money, he wanted to win. Well, Bryant kind of did the opposite.
Yeah, which is weird. From a World Series champion who just played on the technically the best team in baseball last year.
But
goes
it's also,
over to the Rockies.
I mean, it's his hometown team. It was the team he grew up for. I mean, he grew up rooting for. So that could have had a big factor.
Oh, that definitely.
He's getting paid a lot. He has a no trade clause, which was the craziest thing to me. No trade.
Yeah, I have a feeling that at any given moment he could waive that. I mean, I mentioned it earlier. I think that is a lot of teams' missing piece, if you will. I think if you told me that, not this season, but maybe the next season or the season after, that Chris Bryant were to be on the move at the deadline or right before opening day or something, and the Rockies paid to, push him out the door, just like they did with Arenado, I wouldn't be surprised. That's the Rockies.
Yeah, no.
But, good. Congratulations, Chris. You got your bag. You're a world champion, and no one can take that away from you. So,
yeah, I guess go tear it up. He's already reached the main goal, so after that, it's not as important.
Yeah, I mean, he broke the biggest curse in sports, honestly.
Yeah, and he was part of the final out. I mean, obviously, as a Cub, he had a great tenure. Giant, while it was short, they loved him. Hopefully, he does good on the Rockies. I love to see Chris Bryant good, and he looks good in that jersey. I can tell you that.
What do you mean by that?
It just fits him. I feel like he looks natural in every jersey.
He looks natural in the jersey without a doubt.
Yeah.
But then again, Chris Bryant, I mean, he's just such a ball player that, throw him out there in a Little League uniform, he'll look the exact same to me.
Exactly. It doesn't matter where he is. He's gonna do his thing. I think he's gonna ball out.
Yeah.
And let's stay in the NL East. I mean NL West. So.
Oh boy.
What else did we have in the NL West? Nothing.
I mean, I can't really think of too much other than Freddie Freeman signing with the Dodgers.
What
the hell? Who would have thought?
I never thought of it. Just kidding. Yeah, we knew it was coming. It
was mind-boggling.
The most obvious thing of all time. I mean, it was between them and the Braves, and once the Braves extended Matt Olson and even just traded for him, we knew it was over.
Braves were out. I mean, 6 years, $162 million. Again, another guy who took a little bit of a pay cut. Freddy took it to play in his hometown and, be on the Dodgers, which now I think have the biggest video game no way you're getting any of us out lineup with the DH especially.
Yeah. No, that DH is huge for them.
Yeah, because you would think that they need to bat around 3 times and just get the pitcher out 3 times to get out of an inning, and now there's a DH.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, now you take a guy who doesn't get injured a lot. Freeman played 159 games last year. Man batted 300. Had almost a 900 OPS, 135 WRC. Like, he just... How could you not want Freddie Freeman on your team?
Yeah, I mean, and if this does stay as it has been, then you're looking at the 2018 regular season AL MVP and Mookie Betts. You're looking at the 2019 MVP NL in Cody Bellinger. And now you're looking at the 2020 NL MVP and Freddie Freeman, all in one lineup, surrounded by 6 other guys who honestly could all have MVP years. So to all 29 other teams, if any of your superstars are going to win an MVP, do not answer the phone for the Los Angeles Dodgers, please.
Well, I was saying, if we're keeping that trajectory, I mean, Shohei Ohtani or Bryce Harper is going to be a Dodger in the next couple of years.
Yeah, somehow, some way, they'll make it work.
And you know what? That scares me.
Oh yeah, I mean the Shohei Ohtani and the Dodger blue would kind of look cool. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want that to happen.
No, it wouldn't. I don't think either of those things will happen.
I mean, obviously, this Dodgers team, they lose in 7 in the NLCS again, right? I mean,
that's a general consensus. General consensus.
That's bare minimum.
They either lose the wild card game again, or they lose in the DS or the CS, because that's how the Dodgers roll, isn't it?
Yeah, but Freddie, man.
No, all reality, that lineup is scary. Everything is scary.
That lineup is terrifying, especially with, someone reading it off on MLB Network, seeing that, oh my God, they have Trey Turner still. I forgot about him. Oh my God,
short
Cody
too
Bellinger.
This year.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger, who had a down year, like a really bad down year. I mean,
He started to
he
pick it
can
up in the
bounce back.
playoffs.
Yeah, he picked it up in the playoffs. I mean, if he can bring it back to even, batting 270, he can mash. He's a natural lefty who can just smack the ball. He's great. I mean, AJ Pollock, we saw him do his thing. Chris Taylor, we saw him have one of the clutchest home runs last postseason, that is. That lineup is impossible to work around.
Yeah, it's scary. It's legitimately scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very worried, and that's all that we'll say about the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I don't know what else to say. It's just terrifying.
Yeah.
And especially with that division, I don't want to say there's not many competitors, but the Padres seem like the only real competitors because the Giants took big hits this year.
Well, they added too. Don't forget that Carlos Rodon, Jock Peterson, and they retained
we didn't even talk
everybody
about
else.
Jock yet. I mean, Jock Peterson, Pearl Man to the Giants.
Love it. I just love it. But if Jock Peterson hits one into the bay, whew.
Well, I mean, he's going to at some point. But
I hope so.
My thing with the Giants is like they have to bank on Crawford, Belt and Belt to have amazing years again because that's the only reason they made the playoffs last year.
Well, it takes a team in baseball.
I agree.
Yes,
their pitching staff is still good.
Team.
Their pitching staff is still good. Their bullpen is insane, but they're gonna need some big seasons from their veteran guys to get back to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that they make it competitive in the AL West, NL West. I would love to say that they're going to outbeat the Dodgers again.
It's hard to say. Like last year, no one saw it coming. I get that, but even this year, when we're like, oh, I mean, it could happen again. It's like, how could you say it's going to happen again?
I mean, talk about a shot in the dark.
It's like people are saying, oh yeah, the Dodgers are the same team. They just lost Seager.
Yeah, but they put in Freddie
Freeman, who's better than Corey Seager, and they still have Trey Turner at shortstop. Max Muncy is either going to DH, play second. Gavin Lux is a stud. Justin Turner is good. He's a good contact. He's going to get on base. Will Smith is one of the best catchers in baseball. I could go on for days. Mookie Betts is Mookie Betts. Cody Bellinger is Wait, we know his potential.
Oh.
His name is Mookie.
Yeah.
I said, Poppy, can he play baseball? He said, man, can he play baseball?
I mean, yeah, and they have so many options at DH, and they have so many replacements. If that team can stay healthy, they're going to be dangerous.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I would like to imagine that teams who are traveling on the road, obviously, number one, you never want to go to Yankee Stadium, but I can imagine a close second is heading over to Dodger Stadium. I mean, we've been there. It gets very loud even when it's not a sold-out crowd. So I can only imagine what it's like come rivalry time between them and the Giants, them and the Padres, or, playing anybody else. It's going to get loud there, and I hope that Freddy can adjust to it because now he'll be on the other side of the field. He'll be with the Dodgers, who are getting cheered for. And I'm hoping that other teams can go in there and not fold to the pressure because, I mean, as much as everybody loves the Dodgers and they're great, when you build something big, everyone wants to knock it over.
Yeah. And then obviously we're speaking of the Dodgers, they lost a part of their bullpen, and it was taken by the team that beat them in the NLCS.
Your World Series champion Atlanta Braves?
NLDS, rather. Yeah, Kenley Jansen to the Braves. 1 year, $16 million. So the Dodgers take Freddie.
That was the NLCS.
It was the CS. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers take Freddie, and the Braves take Kenley. So it's like
Kenley Jansen.
I mean, obviously Freddie is better, but Kenley, I mean, he spent 12 years for the Dodgers. Seemed like less, but
never saw it coming.
It was a love-hate relationship. I think he's gonna be just Kenley Jansen, and I don't think he's gonna close. I still think Will Smith's gonna close, but that's an insane setup.
What, Tyler Mazdick?
So what's going on here now?
So it's Tyler Mazdick, Kenley Jansen, and Will Smith. I mean, good luck even seeing the ball. I mean, they all have not only great velocity, but all of their pitches are like you're throwing frisbees up there. So, hats off to the Braves. They somehow turned a very bad situation into, dare I say, they moved upward. They lost Frederick, but you replace him with Matt Olson, who's a little bit younger, still a lefty bat,
and still
then
a
on
stud.
top of that, yeah, and still a stud, and then you bring in Kenley Jansen, who, yes, he did, like you said, there is a love-hate relationship. They did blow a few games, like he did blow a few crucial games for them in the middle of the year when everybody had their eyes on baseball, and that's kind of what his reputation was for that season, even though it really wasn't who he was. It was just a couple bad games.
Happens every year.
Yeah, it happens every year. I mean, wow, the Braves somehow figured out a way to get better from their World Championship roster. And don't even mention the fact that they got Acuna coming back.
Acuna coming back, and then another big member of their postseason's coming back. I mean, Eddie Rosario, they signed to a 2-year deal, $18 million. And then an option for a third year is $9 million. That's a good one. I really like that. I mean, obviously, the Braves only saw the good Eddie Rosario, because obviously in Cleveland last year, the first half of last year, he wasn't great, which was why they traded him. He wasn't great.
Am I echoing? Is that what's happening? Am I echoing?
Yeah. But he wasn't great. And then with the Braves, he ramped it up. I mean, he had a 900 OPS with the Braves. And then in the playoffs, he was a monster. He went from having a 685 OPS in Cleveland to a 903 OPS for the Braves. I mean, did they expect that? No, I don't think they expect that big of a jump. And now they're re-signing him, but if they don't get that Eddie Rosario back, I feel like it's going to be very underwhelming. If they get the Cleveland Eddie Rosario at the beginning of next season, I think they're going to be really underwhelmed.
Well, so this is my take on that, and I think this works not only for Eddie Rosario, but for Jorge Solaire, who we'll talk about after, and any other member of any World Championship team. When you get that taste of what it's like to go all the way and to never have to see your fans disappointed, to never have to see that, like you're scrolling through your timeline and you see Atlanta Braves eliminated or your team is eliminated, to see that, it's something that you get one time and you want to just chase it. And I think that Eddie Rosario is going to have that in the back of his mind, because if you look at the lineup, like we said, it's a championship level roster. They can get it done again with this lineup, and a big part of it was Mr. Eddie Rosario in the postseason. And I think because they won and how exciting that team was, they're going to try. He's going to want to make a run at it again. He's going to put all 110% of his effort into every at-bat. I really think that that's how it's going to be. And that's just not only for him. That's for, Freddie Freeman. That's for any other World Series champion, any other champion in sports. When they get that one taste, all they want to do is win more.
Yeah, and obviously that's what creates competition. That makes the game fun, which is what we want. We want fun baseball.
And Atlanta knows how to make baseball fun. Yeah.
They sure do. We saw it last year. I mean, they lost Jock, who was a big part of it, but they did get one guy back. They got their NLCS MVP.
Yeah, when Jock Peterson comes back to the ATL for a game or a series, he'll get a standing ovation, without a doubt.
Of course.
Everyone will be wearing their pearls.
I'm going to check when the first time they played the Braves is.
Maybe we'll do a normal baseball. We'll bring Milo to that one for an experience.
Of course. If you want to get to Jorge Solaire, while I'm looking this up, if you want to talk about Jorge Solaire.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jorge Solaire, World Series MVP, Jorge Solaire, is headed down to South Beach and to Miami. Miami Marlins signed him to a 3-year, $36 million contract, which includes an opt-out after year 1 and an opt-out after year 2. So, good contract for Solaire. Proud of him. I'm shocked that he took a little bit less years for more money than what I expected him to get personally. But congratulations, World Series MVP. No one can ever take that away from you. And Miami, another team that is sneaky good, kind of in the same realm as the Cubs, where if they made noise, I wouldn't be surprised. But if they didn't, would not be surprised.
Yeah, their biggest issue is some of their infield. But no, their biggest issue is the division they're in, because that division, every team is good. Aside from maybe the Nationals, but even then they have Juan Soto, and any
could
team with
win
Juan
50
Soto.
ball games.
Exactly. Also for the Jock thing, mark down June 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. They play in Atlanta. But I like it for the Marlins. Obviously, they were in on Castellanos even after Jeter left. But they couldn't get him, so they just went out and got Solaire. I like it.
Solaire is
as long as they don't get Kansas City
player.
Royal. As long as they don't get Kansas City Royal, Jorge Solaire.
Yeah.
Sorry, half of 2021, Kansas City Royal, Jorge Solaire.
There you go. I mean, Jorge Solaire was an absolute monster in the playoffs. With the new DH rule for the entire league, Jorge Solaire might be their DH opening day.
We'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I think they got him to play left field.
Yeah, from what I've seen, you've been there, I haven't yet, but it looks like a very big ballpark. I mean, left field is not walk in the park.
No, their left isn't that big.
Okay,
Right field. They're a big right field, not a big left field. I believe so.
All right.
If I'm remembering correctly. But I like it. I like it for him.
Him in the City Connect jerseys from last season would have been
at least 12
sight
homers
to see.
Well, they're going to use him again this year, so.
Oh, I hope so.
I believe.
I really do.
I think so.
Yeah. Great signing.
Yeah, did we even get to Correa?
Not yet, but I had to actually bite my tongue because do you want me to do it or do you want to do it?
I don't know what you're talking about, so you can go for it.
Carlos Correa.
Oh.
Signed with the Minnesota Twins. And I don't know anybody who could have seen that one coming. Yeah!
I called
it.
Last episode, I called it. I said, I like Correa to the Twins. I'm saying it before anyone else does, because right after that trade happened, where they got rid of Kiner Falefa, got Gio and Gary, they had no one at short. And Correa wanted a short-term deal, it was reported. Well, Boris did. There it is.
3-year, $105.3 million, which now makes him the highest paid infielder in baseball. And just like Jorge Solaire's contract, it includes an opt-out after the first and an opt-out after the second seasons. Very, very interesting from Correa. No one would have seen that coming at the start of free agency. Everyone was saying 10 years, 350, 10 years, 350, no matter where he went. Minnesota has something, without a doubt. I mean, yes, the White Sox are in that division of the AL Central, but every year they fold in the playoffs super hard, and I think that's just because their division is not good. So if the Twins can make some noise and disrupt what the White Sox are trying to just do, count me in. Congratulations, Carlos Correa. You're going into a good situation.
Like I said, every team is good this year. It's so weird. Like the Twins now. I mean, I'm gonna name off some of their team: Buxton, Polanco, Correa, Gio, Urshela, Gary Sanchez, Sano, Kirilloff. I mean, they have a good team. Tortuga. Yeah. Oh no, they don't have him anymore. But they have Luis Arias. But yeah, they have a good team, and they're gonna contest the White Sox, and because they've been building pitching too, and I don't think they're done. They might get one of Sean Manaea or Frankie Montas.
Yeah, a lot of teams are in on them. I mean, but going back, Correa just barely squeaks past Rendon as the highest paid player AAV-wise.
It's crazy, considering Rendon hasn't had a decent year with the Angels yet.
Yeah. What do you think about this? Because obviously you called it. Did you expect the 3-year? Or I would have expected 5.
I expected 1. Because it kept being reported that he was only going to do 1 year, so we could just make the big contract.
Was only going to do 1 year,
right? Which is why he has the opt-out in case it doesn't go as planned. In case Correa has a good year and the team's not good, he's getting the hell up on out of there.
If I had to guess right now, obviously that team on paper looks good, but of course we know anything can happen in baseball. If you told me right now that Correa was going to opt out after the first season, I would not be surprised. But if he stayed all 3 years, also would not be surprised.
It literally all depends on how they do next year. I mean, when you really look at it,
he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's gonna go, and then he's gonna get his big bag. Once Boris gets all the money for it.
Yeah, it's not Boris. He's very good at looking out for himself.
Of course, that's what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Twins. I like their team. Like, I've seen them put it together, and they kept saying we're not done, and they did this, and wow. Just another division. Like AL East is going to be competitive. AL West is going to be somewhat competitive, but on a lower scale.
Hopefully.
But on a lower scale, hopefully. NL East is going to be highly competitive. NL Central is going to be competitive between the top 3 teams-ish. 2 teams. It's really top 2 teams.
2 guaranteed, 3 hopefully.
And then NL West hopefully will be competitive. Dodgers might run away with it. And now the AL Central is probably going to be competitive too.
Yeah, baseball is beautiful, and if you're not paying attention this season, I'm sorry, but you're going to miss out on some of the greatest baseball we've ever seen.
It is. It's going to be I wish Tatis wasn't injured and going to miss 3 months, because he would bring a lot of excitement as well. I know that's kind of standing him out. He wasn't really part of anything, but I do think that him being on the field helps the game of baseball.
Hey, Tatis, please get better soon, and don't ride on any more motorcycles. I feel like if you do that one more time, your contract might get terminated. So don't throw that away just because you want to ride on a 2-wheel death machine.
That'd be the Padres' loss at that point.
It would be.
What else do we have here? Did we get all the signings, or did we miss any?
I mean, we could talk about some smaller ones.
Tepera to the Angels.
Yeah, Tepera to the Angels. We have
the Angels are getting
Detroit.
Good.
Yeah, Detroit Tigers signed
Andrew
Michael
Chafin.
Pineda
And Andrew Chafin.
Andrew Chafin went to the Tigers. Oh yes, to the Tigers.
Yeah, 2 years, $13 million. Opt out after this year.
Garrett Richards, huge deal. I love this Garrett Richards deal. Going to the Texas Rangers on a 1-year deal with an option for next year. Great pickup for the Rangers, who, like we said, needed pitching. Like, their names, yes, are good, but good pitching is what they need more than anything. Mike Soroka signed a 1-year contract to stay with the Braves. That's great for the Braves. They are able to retain everything. You mentioned Jonathan VR going to Chicago. Villar, I think.
VR
going to Chicago already. Yeah, that's all that oh, hello. You ever heard of the Kansas City Royals?
Yes.
Yeah, do you remember that one young pitcher that they used to have that everybody called a little bit weird but could still get it done?
Back in 04.
Zach Greinke is back in Royals, donning the blue. That is a very shocking signing. 1 year, $13 million. Congratulations, Zach. I feel like this is his farewell tour.
It's either this year or next year. He's gonna be gone.
Yeah, outstanding career so far. Let's hope.
I actually kind of like it. I'm disappointed that I didn't see that coming earlier, because it really does make sense.
Yeah.
Right back to where it started. I mean, played the first 6 years of his career there. 7
Yeah,
years.
I really had a feeling that he would do one more year with the Astros and then do this with the Royals, as shown by our free agent draft. I really thought that he would do one more year with Houston just to try to win. Just
Right.
That team is still very good even without Correa. But congratulations, Zach. You got a good chunk of change, and you're going back to where it all started for you.
I love you congratulating everyone.
Well, I mean, hey, they're lucky. They're getting a lot more money than I'm getting at my job, and they get to play baseball for a living. What do I get to do? Sit behind a desk and talk to you on a podcast?
I mean, yeah. I know. I just find it funny. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him. Yeah.
There are just like 2 rumors also that I want to address with you, just to pick your brain about it a little bit.
Go for it.
You want to go over it?
No.
So, okay. What do you want to do?
What is it? What is it?
So, first and foremost, we already mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the Blue Jays haven't really stopped the pursuit of Jose Ramirez just yet. I doubt that a trade gets done. What do you feel?
I don't see it happening.
You don't see it? What if Jose Ramirez says to the Guardians that he's not re-signing? That he wants out?
Still don't see it.
He's a free agent after next year.
I don't think they'll do it before the season. No.
Fair enough. And then the second one, which I find to be out there a little bit. Oh my god, I had to scroll up to look for it. Michael Conforto. The only...
Still hasn't signed yet.
Yeah, interesting free agent. The only teams that are connected to him are the Diamondbacks and the Toronto Blue Jays. The only two teams that have been in mentions of him.
Out of those two, I could see him going to the Diamondbacks just for a prove yourself year.
Yeah, without a doubt, I could see him going to the Diamondbacks.
He'll get
But if he went to the Blue Jays, he wouldn't be an everyday starter. Maybe he would DH every once in a while, I could see. And he would be ring chasing at that point. He would be going to a great team to try to win more than getting a big contract.
And can I blame him? No.
No, not one bit.
Not at all.
Still interesting that he hasn't signed. Blows my mind.
Yeah, I know. I think we'll get that in the next couple days. I can't see it go much longer.
Yeah, because I feel like every big leaguer needs their training camp.
Yeah, he just needs to get down to a team.
Yeah, and he should get there eventually, and when he does, I mean, no matter what team he goes to, they're getting a good player. Obviously, Mets fans will tell you that he's not good or he had a down year last year, but, you know, let's hope that he's able to bounce back and really show everybody why Michael Conforto is not a name to be forgotten.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where he signs and how that all works out for him. So, yeah. But that's just, we'll see in the next couple of days. And I mean, that's all the free agents. We did get through all the free agents. Oh, we didn't hit Amir Garrett, traded to the Royals in exchange for Mike Minor. Okay.
What about Ryan McMahon? Just today, actually.
Well, yeah.
That was this morning, as of recording this on March 21st. He signed a 6-year, $70 million contract extension with the Rockies. Good for him.
Good for him. The Rockies actually, like, they could build something in the next 6 years. They got Bryant built up for 6 years. Now they got McMahon for 6 years. They have some prospects. I mean, all I'm saying is it is possible now that they have another guy like McMahon locked up for that long.
I would love... Oh, my God. Excuse me. I would love to see them build something. I mean, obviously, we want every team in baseball to compete. But, we'll see.
Oh, man.
Oh, here's also one thing that I just completely forgot. Austin Meadows on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays have been shopping him around all offseason to teams. What do you think that looks like for the Rays? A return package for Austin Meadows?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that. So,
well, he was.
I think they get a decent amount, I guess.
Yeah, I would like to think so. I mean, Austin Meadows is a great player for the Rays, but then again, the Rays just kind of do things different down there in St. Petersburg. So if he went away
the Rays
from
never count out the Rays. They'll probably trade him for like Juan Soto or something, knowing the Rays.
Yeah, and Juan Soto, and then like the next coming of Babe Ruth and like low A, and call him up in 2 years.
Yeah, no, that would be the most Rays move. They would get prospects of like random guys and like sleeper guys, and then they'd turn out to be insane because that's how the Rays run their team, and it works. So
somehow, some way.
Yeah, like you can't really say anything. You can't really say anything because it works. And then,
no, without a doubt.
And then the last thing I got here is Ryan Zimmerman. The Nationals are to retire his number this year. They haven't set a date or anything, but they did announce that they will retire his number.
Congratulations,
this
Mr.
year.
National.
Mr. National, makes sense. He retired a couple months ago. Round of applause for Ryan Zimmerman.
What a hell of a career. I mean, one of a kind. First National to hit a home run in the World Series, I believe.
Yeah.
As their first ever draft pick. Wow. What a moment that must have been. He spent his entire career with the Nationals. And from what I know of people that live in the area of DC and in that little area, everybody wanted to be like Ryan Zimmerman. He was like the Yankees Jeter growing up. Everybody just wanted to play like Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah, that was the person you looked up to, and the person who was just a lot of guys came and went through the Nationals, but he stayed. So
yeah,
and he was good. So
very nice send off for him. I mean, happy that they didn't wait to do this. That would have been a bad PR move for the Nationals. Get it done quick because this guy was the face of your franchise for so long.
Yeah, I think that's really it. I mean, I don't know if Max Scherzer made his first start for the Mets today. 5 innings because, of course, that's the most Max Scherzer thing I could ever think of. Pitching 5 innings in a spring training game, his first spring training game, no less. But again, 5 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 run. Just scrolling through here, Dusty Baker and his son got to exchange lineup cards in a spring training game, which is pretty cool. Heartwarming.
Very wholesome moment.
Yeah, wholesome.
God, I love baseball.
Getting to the actual baseball stuff. I mean, Jonathan India's hitting homers again. Salvi Perez is hitting homers again. Freaking O'Neal Cruz is going to run NL Rookie of the Year, but we'll talk about that on a future episode. Chapman hit his first home run as a Blue Jay. Baseball's back, and we love it. And once the regular season starts, we'll be talking about all the games in depth, going over series by series, and hopefully you're looking forward to that, because I am very much looking forward to that. There's just no point of doing that in spring training though. So yeah.
Yeah, when baseball's back, we're in our primes, and that's just not because of this. That's how we've always been. Baseball is a center point for us.
Yeah, and I think that should do it. I mean, today, the day you're watching this, we'll have a couple of episodes of our new series, which is the Will Bees, is what we're gonna call them. I think we're gonna go through each team and say how we think they will be in 2022. So yeah, I think that should do it.
Look out for that.
Look out for that. 2 a day up until opening day. So yeah, look out for that, and I think that'll do it for this episode.
Sounds good.
All right, this has been a normal, very, 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 very normal baseball podcast, and we'll see you next time. Peace.